In every dark hour of our national life, a leadership of frankness and vigor has met with that understanding and support of the people themselves, which is essential to victory. I am convinced that you will again give that support to leadership in these critical days. In such a spirit on my part and on yours, we face our common difficulties. They concern, thank God, only material things. Values have shrunken to fantastic levels. Taxes have risen. Our ability to pay has fallen. Government of all kinds is faced by serious curtailment of income. The means of exchange are frozen in the currents of trade. The withered leaves of industrial enterprise lie on every side. Farmers find no markets for their produce. The savings of many generations and the thousands of families are gone. More important, a host of unemployed citizens face the grim problem of existence, and an equally great number toil with little return. Only a foolish optimist can deny the dark realities of the moment. Yet, our distress comes from no failure of substance. We are stricken by no plague of locusts. Compared with the perils which our forefathers conquered because they believed and were not afraid, we have still much to be thankful for. Nature still offers her bounty, and human efforts have multiplied it. Plenty is at our doorstep, but a generous use of it languishes in the very sight of the supply. Primarily, this is because the rulers of the exchange of mankind's goods have failed through their stubbornness and their own incompetence, have admitted their failures, and abdicated. Practices of the unscrupulous money changers stand indicted in the court of public opinion, rejected by the hearts and minds of men. True, they have tried, but their efforts have been cast in a pattern of an outworn tradition. Faced by failure of credit, they have proposed only the lending of more money. Stripped of the lure of profit by which to induce our people to follow their false leadership, they have resorted to extortions, pleading tearfully for restored conditions. They know only the rules of a generation of self-seekers. They have no vision, and when there is no vision, the people perish. The money changers have fled their high seats in the temple of our civilization. We may now restore that temple to the ancient truths. The measure of the restoration lies in the extent to which we apply social values more noble than mere monetary profit. Happiness lies not in the mere possession of money. It lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort. All right, could go on, but why don't you just guess who was saying all that stuff and when he was saying all that stuff? I won't give you a hint, but I will read something else and see if there's anything interesting there, okay? Quote, "This assertion was deliberately and actually untrue. In consequence, however, these untrue accusations in the interest of our former enemies led to the severest oppression, the splitting up of the nation into groups with irreconcilable views, systematically brought about by the false doctrines of Marxism, means the destruction of the basis of a possible communal life. It is only the creation of a real national community, rising above the interests and differences of rank and class, that can permanently remove the source of nourishment of these aberrations of the human spirit. Simultaneously with this political purification of our public life, the government will undertake a thorough moral purging of the body corporate of the nation. The entire educational system, the theater, the cinema, literature, the press, and the rest of the media. All these will be used as means to this end and valued accordingly. They must all serve for the maintenance of the eternal values present in the essential character of our people. Art will always remain the expression and the reflection of the longings and the realities of an era. The neutral, international attitude of aloofness is rapidly disappearing. Heroism is coming forward passionately and will in the future shape and lead political destiny. It is the task of art to be the expression of this determining spirit of our age. Okay, so there's two different speeches. Try to guess who the speakers were and what year that was. Just give yourself a minute. The full transcripts of the speeches can be found at the GLOBEHACKERS website, the blog. So I think you should read them because it's interesting how history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. We don't know exactly who said that first, but it was attributed to Mark Twain on many occasions, although I doubt he was the first person to come up with it. Anyway, there's an interesting link in the blog that you can read about that quote. It's kind of fun. Anyway, all the rhetoric, the rhetoricians, all the speakers, the pundits, all the writers, they all have their fiery rhetoric. The sky is falling. You have to fear this, that, and the other thing, but you never have to fear the things that you really should fear. It's right there in front of you. The really scary threats, like paying your medical bills or putting enough food on the table or having shelter so that you can get your stuff together and find a job, even if it's like 4 jobs in the gig economy. But, you have this hammer hanging over your head. It could fall at any time. But you feel powerless. There's not a damn thing I can do about it. So I'll just get on with things. Just get on with it. Have a nice time. Post a picture of a pint of beer on my Facebook page. Tell some silly jokes down the pub. Go to a game, buy a ticket, see a movie, upgrade my Fire Stick. Whatever floats your boat. And just get on with it. Anyway, from the blog, today our leaders still echo a sense of defeat, of emergency, but what are our leaders' real concerns? That question is so important, and yet we seldom ask it. While our leaders deftly work to inspire fear and mobilize their base, real emergencies face our civilization, crises that most of us have been trained to ignore in favor of our desire to consume. Although today we have access to more information than ever, we may find it hard to determine the differences between propaganda and information intended to inspire and inform. Put aside your emotional habits and think carefully. Learn from history. Read primary sources. Prepare yourself for what's to come. Everything in our world is changing fast, and the remedies of the past will not help us in the 21st century. We are currently facing our species' extinction. This is a fact. It's time to learn why this is so and to demand that everyone take action to prevent our destruction. The global conflagrations of the past 2 centuries are nothing compared to what is coming. If you are distracted, if you can't focus, if you don't have the strength to educate yourself, if you are not fit, if your mind is not healthy, you will only know horror and panic in the days to come. I'm not a doomsayer, I'm a truth teller, and I blush when I say it because it sounds so arrogant. When you imagine yourself to be noble and righteous because you are just getting on with it, try to remember that future generations will be the most impacted by how you are getting on with it. If you turn away from reality now, you are not doing younger people any favors by paying rent and tuition. We must all speak truth to power now. Our voices must rise in concert, all of our voices across the world. We must put aside our differences and come together as a species and determine the right way forward. We don't have a minute to waste. Organize within your community and talk about what we are facing. Don't let yourself be mesmerized by selfish leaders who are only in their position for money, power, and fame. Do what you can to educate and enlighten those who are less interested in understanding how the world works. The full knowledge of humanity is at your fingertips. Learn, discuss, share. In many ways, today looks like, okay, if you didn't guess, 1933. We are at a crossroads. Only this time, civilization truly is at stake. Get your information from sincere teachers like Chris Hedges and Peter Josephs, among so many others. I just think they're good people to listen to. So many more, though. Visit GLOBEHACKERS.com. Please comment on blog posts and follow Globe Hackers on Facebook. Click like below and subscribe. And if you want to be notified, you know the drill, click the bell. If you're a troll or a pissed off person, just go somewhere else because we're not here to fight. We argue to discover, knowing we can't injure ourselves. We argue to learn and to educate ourselves and to help each other become better people so that we can rise to the occasion. And right now, we all have to do that. So anyway, take good care, my beautiful imaginary friends. Enjoy everything while you can and prepare for the worst. Bye-bye.